Hey everyone, welcome to my brand new series, One MCQ, One Concept. So basically in this series, we'll take one NEET MDS MCQ at a time and go deep into the concept behind it. So you don't just memorize the answer, but actually understand the logic behind it. Okay. So whether it's from periodontics, oral path, prostho, or any other subject, I'll try to simplify the topic, connect it to the other highlight points that give you an edge over the others in your preparation. Okay. So the idea is simple here. One MCQ, one concept, one step closer to your NEET MDS seat. So let's dive into today's question and crack it together. So we are going to start with periodontics, and the very first question in periodontics is that stippling is seen on. The options are marginal gingiva, attached gingiva, interdental gingiva, and D, none of the above. So basically, what is stippling? Stippling is the characteristic oral orange peel appearance seen clinically. ठीक है? It's like an orange peel appearance. The reason behind this is that there is an epithelial connective tissue interdigitation. है ना, lamina propria, if you remember, in the connective tissue. So epithelial and lamina propria, they both interdigitate through retipex and connective tissue papillae. So because of that, it creates surface elevations and depressions, which is visible as stippling. And where is it actually seen? It is seen on attached gingiva. Sorry, it is seen on attached gingiva. Why attached gingiva? Because attached gingiva is keratinized, and the thickened keratin layer over irregular epithelial ridges enhances oral peel appearance. In attached gingiva, because of its keratinized nature, it is firmly bound to bone and cementum through periosteum, and since it does not move, the surface irregularities from retipex and connective tissue papillae are visible as stippling. Also, it has got some dense collagen fibers and there is no submucosa in it, because of which the surface texture from connective tissue directly reflects on epithelium. So, microscopic connective tissue regularity reflects on the surface and is seen as stippling. Hope it helps. So the other question is that with the increase in age, keratinization of gingiva, option A increases, option B decreases, option C remains the same, and option D is increases and then decreases. So the answer here is that with the increase in age, keratinization of the gingiva decreases. And why that happens? Because of certain factors. The very first factor is reduced epithelial turnover. So what happens exactly is that with aging, mitotic activity of basal cells slow down, which further leads to thinner epithelium and less keratin formation. ठीक है? Reason number 2 is that in young gingiva, there is a strong interdigitation present between epithelium and connective tissue, which further supports keratinization. With advancing age, the retipex, they starts to flatten, so keratinization capacity becomes slow or it decreases. Then third reason for that is that there are changes in connective tissue. So collagen fibers, they become denser, more cross-linked and less metabolically active, which further reduces epithelial nutrition or support and thus lowers keratinization. Also, there is decreased functional stimulation. What exactly happens is that because of continuous mild masticatory stress, which exactly helps in maintain keratinization. In elderly, there is reduced chewing efficiency, which can be due to missing teeth or softer diets, which further reduces mechanical stimulation, so epithelium becomes thinner and less keratinized. Also, there are blood supply changes, there are vascular changes. Blood supply to the gingiva diminishes with age, which further lowers metabolic activity and keratin production. So, in a nutshell, if I tell you, the keratinization of gingiva decreases with age due to reduced epithelial turnover, flattening of retipex, decreased vascularity, and reduced functional stimulation. So, you can remember this as a mnemonic: old teeth, where O means overused collagen, fiber become dense, cross-linked, and less active. L stands for less blood supply, means reduced vascularity. D for diminished chewing, less functional, mechanical stimulation. T for thinner epithelium. E for epithelium flattens. E for elderly metabolism slows down. T for turnover decreases. H hence less keratinization. Number third is the color of the gingiva is due to option A capillaries, option B thickness of epithelium, option C thickness of keratinization and pigmentation, and option D is all of the above. So here it is asking about the color of gingiva. So the answer here is basically all of the above. So the color of the gingiva is basically determined by a combination of factors in both the epithelium and the underlying connective tissue. So what are those factors? The very first factor is vascular supply. There is rich capillary network present in underlying connective tissue which gives it pink to reddish hue. Okay. The second factor is epithelial thickness. So the thicker epithelium masks blood vessels because of which gingiva appears pale or pink. So thinner epithelium shows underlying vascularity, so gingiva appears redder. So epithelial thickness plays a major role over here. Number 3 is thickness of keratinization or degree of keratinization. So the more keratinized the tissue, it will be the lighter or paler gingiva, opaque. And if there is less keratinization, there will be darker or redder appearance. Another point is pigmentation, right? Pigmentation means melanin. So melanocytes are present in basal layer that produce melanin, which in turn gives appearance of brownish or blackish pigmentation, which is basically more prominently seen in darker skinned individuals, and also underlying connective tissue. So the density of collagen fiber affects translucency, so because of which the denser connective tissue gives lighter shade. So in short, you have to memorize is, or in short you have to remember is, that gingival color is mainly determined by vascular supply, epithelial thickness, degree of keratinization and melanin pigmentation. ठीक है? So the answer over here is all. So question number 4 is junctional epithelium A lines the gingival sulcus, B is permeable, C is derived initially from the outer enamel epithelium, or D is attached to enamel by desmosomes. So in this particular question we are going to discuss all these 4 points because it is important to know about these 4 points to avoid any further confusion, right? So it is asking that is junctional epithelium the one that lines the gingival sulcus? No. It's the sulcular epithelium that lines the sulcus wall, and junctional epithelium basically attaches at the base of sulcus and extends apically along the tooth surface. So which layer of which epithelium lines the gingival sulcus? It's sulcular epithelium, not gingival epithelium. B, is it permeable? Yes, it is permeable because it is permeable because it has wide intercellular spaces. So junctional epithelial cells are loosely packed with large extracellular spaces, ठीक है, which allows passage of fluid, cells and molecules. Also there are fewer desmosomes present in this area, which makes this adhesion between cells weak, hence there is more permeability. Also the junctional epithelium is really thin. It is only 15 to 13 cells thick coronally, or even it becomes thinner apically, which offers less barrier. Also there is high turnover rate. Junctional epithelial cells have rapid turnover, 4 to 6 days, and loosely arranged immature cells, which further adds to its permeability. So what exactly you have to remember from exam point of view is that junctional epithelium is highly permeable layer due to its presence of wide intercellular spaces, reduced desmosomes and high cellular turnover, which allows the passage of gingival clavicular fluid and defense cells. ठीक है जी, okay. Now option C is that it is is it derived initially from the outer enamel epithelium? That's a trick question, or that's a trick option actually. So no, it does not. So junctional epithelium basically it gets derived from reduced enamel epithelium, which includes cells from outer enamel epithelium, inner enamel epithelium such as ameloblast, stratum intermedium and stellate reticulum. So it not solely arise from oral or outer enamel epithelium. ठीक है, it is derived from reduced enamel epithelium. Remember that. Now point number D is कि is it attached to enamel by desmosomes? No, it is attaches by internal basal lamina and hemidesmosomes. Okay, so the answer here is permeable. Okay, thank you. So the another question is that dentogingival unit comprises of dentogingival unit. So for that, first of all, you have to understand what is a dentogingival unit. So the dentogingival unit basically is the structural and functional complex which is formed by junctional epithelium, ठीक है, and gingival connective tissue fiber, that is gingival fibers. So junctional epithelium means epithelial attachment of gingiva to the tooth surface, and primarily the gingivodental fibers. These are the fibers that insert into the cementum and fan out into the gingiva. So together these two form a biological seal around the tooth. ठीक है. So what is the significance of it? That it provides a barrier against bacterial invasion from the oral cavity. Also it helps maintain in gingival contour and firmness. Okay. So what you have to remember is that dentogingival unit is equals to junctional epithelium plus gingival connective tissue attachment, which is gingival fibers, which forms a protective seal around the tooth. So answer here will be gingival fibers and junctional epithelium. Okay.